Welcome to another episode of Dad Can We Talk? I am your host, Anthony Ray, and this is episode 143 of Dad Can We Talk. It's been about a month and a half since I've done an episode. Um, Guys, please bear with me. I've been having a lot of stuff going on. I always say that, but I'm so serious. I am not playing around with y'all. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm trying to balance fatherhood, marriage, work, and everything else. But I'm still keeping it going. I got some guys who've been on my tail about getting on the podcast, so y'all continue to stay tuned for more episodes after this. But um, first thing first, as always, guys, please go to YouTube, type in Dad Can We Talk, subscribe to the channel. That's all I need from y'all. I would appreciate it. I would be very thankful and grateful for you guys subscribing to the channel and staying tuned. That's a great way to support me. That's the biggest way to support me. Go and do that. Also find the podcast on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and you can also go to the website at dadcanwetalk.com. That's another way that you can find this episode and all the other episodes that are streaming. Um, got one thing I want to tell you guys about. In 2 weeks in Gainesville, Florida, we will be doing the cookout again. My guy from Support Black GMV will be doing another cookout event that he did last year. Um, and we will be taking a part of the funds, and they're going to support Black GMV is going to push some of the funds from that event over to Dad Can We Talk for my fourth annual Dad Walk that will be going down August 9th of this year. So we were planning on doing it this coming weekend, but logistics, we had a lot of stuff that we needed to still kind of get together. So we have to push the date back to August 9th. So you guys be on the lookout for that. But if you can make it to the cookout, I think that's the 22nd of this month. It's not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. Come out. Uh, there will be food, there will be drinks, there will be games, a lot of stuff. It's a Juneteenth event, so you guys come out, support everything that people do donate to that event. Toward that event, I will get a portion of the funds for that to go toward my dad walk in August. So appreciate all the support that everyone has been giving, but y'all please come out to the cookout and support Black GNV on that event. And another shout out to my man Mike P, the barber, one of my great sponsors, man. Y'all go check him out if you're in Gainesville, Florida, and you need a haircut. You know me, I'm bald, but I take my son over to get his haircuts every now and then, man. So if you're looking for a barber in Gainesville, Florida, check out my man Mike P, the barber. Without further ado, I'm ready to get into this episode 143. I'm here today with a guy. He reached out to me on email, and I looked into some of his information, and I was like, yeah, I think this would be a great episode. I was reading some of his story. He's an advocate for fatherhood, and y'all know me. I'm always big on changing the narrative. And I think he's like literally changing. He's making some real changes when it comes to the narrative of fatherhood. So he is the founder of the Good Dad Act, and he's also an author of the book Ethan's Good Dad Act. So um, he's doing some great stuff in this industry, the industry of fatherhood. Um, and he's making waves. And I think he's doing some important, very important things. So I'm ready to get into some of his story, hear more about what he's doing. So Y'all welcome to the Dad Can We Talk community. My man, Miss Dr. Jennings. Dr. Jennings, how
Hey,
you doing, man?
thank you so much. I'm happy to be on your podcast. Dads can talk. It's a
Yes,
pleasure
sir.
to be here to share with another dad that's looking out for kids, not only his own kids, but everybody else's kids. Takes a village, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I always start the podcast off with the same first question, and we're gonna start there today. So my first question for you is, what was your relationship like with your dad?
I had a wonderful relationship with my dad. My dad is not with us anymore, but we were like two peas in a bucket. We couldn't go anywhere without each other. I would go to him to work, and he was a contractor, did work, and he had his own business. I would go with him and watch what he's doing, pay attention, and stay up late at night. And he'd have me. My dad was Jamaican, so he was a hard worker. He had 14 jobs, man, literally
Um,
doing construction work and had rental property. And I really cherished the time I had with my dad. I was able to spend his last days with him when he passed away. And I could do better.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. What was one of those things, growing up? What would you say is one of the most important things that you learned from your dad?
He told me that when you start something, don't quit.
Mm,
That you got to finish what you start. Don't just do it and give up. Don't
mm,
work. Whatever you're doing, follow through and see it through. Be consistent. Get it done.
mm,
No, nobody want to hear excuses about why you can't. Why is it not done? Do it.
mm. That's
That
good.
that's the first thing that comes to my head.
That's good. Were there any other role models, people that you looked up to growing up? And I always ask these questions because I think it's important for people to understand, who shaped the man, who shaped Dr. Jennings, who was involved in the molding and shaping of who you become today.
Yeah, that's interesting you ask that question because even in the book, I wrote a letter in the book to men that shaped me.
Mm,
On my mother's side, I have a bunch of uncles. On my mother's side, they're very conservative, so they're pastors of church,
mm,
deacons in the church, religious men, family men. They're all have intact families, married long-term marriages with their wives, and I was exposed to them as a young age. Teaching Bible school with my uncle who's in New York, and he was the church in the church. My other uncle, and on my father's side, he's got a couple brothers. They're all passed now. One just recently last away about a month ago. I remember one Uncle Ken. He came to visit my dad when I was younger, and I was around 11 or 12 years old, and I had a bad temper. And I used to get angry, and I used to go out the back of the backyard and had a pool and a fence, a wooden fence. And I used to punch. See my knuckles? I used to punch the wall. And I still got scars, like target marks on my right hand. I get mad, I punch. He saw me get mad and punched one. He said, Bernard, don't, don't do that. You're hurting yourself. Nothing's gonna happen if you hurt yourself. You're gonna be hurt. You need to
mm,
channel your anger to something else. Come, let's go running with me. He was big in Amway. He was one of the diamond guys in Amway. He said,
mm,
come. He was a health buff. Come running with me in the morning. So he took me jogging, and I was about 11, 12 years old. When you get angry, don't hit the wall. Run.
mm,
Let it out. And you feel better. And drink water and eat healthy. And I did that. And I ended up going through high school, joined the track team, was running a 400 meter, 800 meters track for in high school. I got
mm.
a full ride scholarship to go to college because I was running.
Wow.
Full ride. So I went to Florida Memorial University. It was Florida Memorial College at the time. And running around that track field, I met one of the guys on the team. Said, "Think you can beat me? You high school kid, right? You know what I'm Yeah. Let me see what you can do." Man. Jet, it took off. I had some heart on it. The
Wow.
next week, I went out there to the track field, raced them again. And the track coach said, "Hey, come here. You go to college?" Yeah, I want to go to college. Come on, you come over here. I'll give you a full scholarship. You don't have to pay for college. Okay, good.
Wow.
Well, pre-made right there. Um, the other men, the commissioners, I'm in a fraternity. I have to say the older brothers, the fraternity Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, they helped me understand the transition from young man to older man in college and how you act and how you ladies and how you guard yourself, ladies, at that same time. It is. I've had some good exposure, I would say, to men, and the things I've done in my life. You know, I know a lot of people aren't as fortunate to have real men in their lives, and because of that, they don't have emotional discernment.
Mm,
And have there's a word called deference that you have when you're talking to another man. Just in general, you meet a man on the street, at gas station, wherever you're at, and there's a certain deference you give to a man that is older than you, that is a street in the street. He's working in a store and he's the janitor and he's a man, he's an older man. I just don't just walk by that man.
mm,
Good afternoon, sir. You're doing a good job. I'll compliment what he's doing. Holding the door at the maitre d' at the door. I'll greet him respectfully, like the man is the corporate head of the company.
mm,
You know, my dad once told me, he said, you know, the guy that cleans the office when you go into a building or even the worker, you work there and you think they're nobody, and a lot of people think they're nobody, but they're very important because they're in every room and things are going on, there are conversations going on that they're going to hear that people system is not important. And if
mm,
something's going on in that business that's against you and they pick up on it because of the way you respect them, they're going to come to you and look out for you, give you the
mm,
information you need because they realize that you're a good person,
mm,
not to overlook other people,
mm.
men, you know, it's deference.
Yes, sir. I love that. I love that. And I can definitely concur. It's funny, we talked about something like that last night in the meeting that I was in on that same frequency. You know, it's funny, one of my good friends, his son is he just graduated high school and he's gonna go to Florida Memorial for football.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
you got to give me his name. I'll look out for him. I'm on the board of trustees now. I was once a track star, student body president, dorm counselor, you know, head RA, and now I've been appointed as a member of the board of trustees at the university. So the board of trustees, as you may know, is the policy makers of the university. Technically, the board owns the university, and we hire the president of the university. The president of the university runs the day-to-day operation of the university. So we set the policy for the university, approve the university's studies. We approve their degrees that they administer to the students, and we help fundraise, help point the university in the right direction to university continuity and good educational progress. I'm
Wow.
proud
Yeah.
of
So when we're done, I definitely got to text you his name, man.
it. Okay, look out for him.
Good kid, man. Very good kid. And
When does he start? He starts in the fall, right?
I think he said he's supposed to be at campus August 8th.
Okay, I'll go see him.
Oh yeah.
I
I,
promise you that.
I had a good talk with him last weekend and just kind of was telling him, go out there, just stay focused, do your thing, man. That's it. Do your thing.
College is different. No one's going to be holding your hand. You
Mm,
either stay in your dorm or you can get out the dorm. When you get out the dorm, you're either going to go eat, going to go hang out, going to go to a party, or you can go to class, you can go to the library. You got a choice. And
yeah,
nobody telling you what you're doing is wrong unless you're around a bunch of guys that's doing the right thing or girls. Then
yeah.
you're gonna be out there just out. You know, you can make it or break it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna definitely send you his name and that'd be great, just to kind of
Look
look.
out.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So let's get into this, man. Take me back to the moment when you realized that your child's mother could relocate without your consent.
Yeah. So it's about years now. So my son and my son's mother and I, we were in a relationship, had our disagreements, we broke up. We were doing our own thing, traveling places, whatever. I was doing my own thing, shared custody, no court, anything for the first 4 or 5 years, 5 years of his life, 6 years of his life. And there was no issue with us, just the normal squabbles. You know, I was in another relationship. I knew her to other relationship. I wasn't watching where she's going. She told me she got to go out of town. No problem. Can you keep the son for a week? Yep, no problem. Last summer there, she was gone for like 2 months. She maybe called him twice during those 2 months. I knew she sold her condo or her townhouse and so on. I was in a relationship with someone else, ended up getting engaged and did a little video presentation of the engagement, sent out to friends. the mother got wind, my son's mother got wind of that. Because a week later, all hell broke loose. She was like, "Oh, I'm coming to get my son." Blah 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 blah. So she tried to come get him, and I was like, "Well, you've been gone for a whole month. I know you sold your account. Where you living at?" She wouldn't tell me. She's like, "Oh no, I'm not telling you because you're." She started spitting out stuff. Oh, you got a history of domestic violence. I'm like, what?
Mm.
Came up with something like. Then she called the police to come get him. I told the police that, "Oh, no, I'm not letting you go because I could be gone for 2 months. Stole my house and telling you I'm coming to get my son." She wanted to know where you taking him, where you taking my son. Um, we ended up getting a hearing. She went to get a hearing before a judge the next day, emergency hearing to tell the judge for me to give her back the kid. The judge put us in a mediation room on Zoom with I had my attorney. We worked out an agreement for the summer. I will keep the same thing I've been doing. I've had every Friday to Monday, and I keep on the weekends, and she'll have them from Monday to Thursday. No problem. She's going to go out of town in a weekend, Mexico, whatever. It's okay. And then we do that 1 week on, 1 week off, a weekend on, week off. Then when it came time for that, the judge said, "Do you want to have a guardian ad litem in the case to oversee what's going on?" Yeah, because I don't know where she lives. She wouldn't tell me. So the guardian ad litem contacted us to come visit me 3 weeks into it. And I let her see the guardian ad litem come to my house. It was her turn for the guardian ad litem to come. She in a motion to the court that she didn't want to see. She got an attorney. She wasn't having the guardian ad litem come to her house, blah, blah, blah. And then they declared in court that you know, I was the father, but I don't have any rights, that I couldn't see the son anymore. I don't have to pay child support. I can just walk away. Like, what? The court hearing ended, and they pulled the case from court. He had filed the case initially, then she pulled it from court. So the judge said, "Well, since they pulled the case, there's nothing I can do about it. The case is closed."
Mm.
And then she took off with my son for like a month. I'm trying to communicate her, not answering the phone. I was like, man, she gone for like a month. What if she really moved to Texas somewhere? I knew that if you go away from the jurisdiction for 6 months and you don't find a way to bring the person back and do something about it, I'll be fighting for custody for my son in Texas or Dubai. She said one time she want to move to Thailand. She knew somebody moved to Thailand. She want to move to Thailand. I'm like, I gotta find my son. So I was online doing some research and I realized that there's a Florida statute that if someone pulled the case like the way she pulled the case, that I have a right the respondent in the case to open it back up because she pulled it without my consideration. So I was able to get an emergency a hearing with the judge, and I had posted something on Facebook, a wanted poster saying, "Hey, my son is missing. Have you seen him? He's with the mother. She moved without my permission or consent from the county. I don't know where she's at." 24 hours later, the judge gave me a hearing,
Mm.
argued before the judge in this hearing that I want to see my son. She was on there with her attorney, and the judge said they asserted that the law is longstanding that in the state of Florida that the father, the mother and father are not married. The mother is the natural born guardian of the child. The father doesn't have any rights. I was like, what? But I've been involved with this forever. Your Honor, look, I submitted a DNA test. I'm 99.99991 can't be excluded. Can you give me an order for them to see me? Well, no, you have to file, you have to find her, get an attorney, get an investigator, find her and serve her papers so that you can establish paternity. Because in Florida, as a judge has to declare you the father. It's called paternity, which means you have a financial responsibility. I said, well, then once we do that, will I be able to see my son? Oh, not so fast. That could take 6 months to a year, and it's a trial. And we go through that, and then you got to come back and serve her again and petition for visitation rights with your son. I'm like, but Your Honor, she's here now online. Can I just ask them if they will accept service because she moved, and even the document she put in court, it's a fake address because my attorney tried to serve her at those address, and that address is fake. And asked them. So I said to her attorney, will you accept service on behalf of your client? Oh, no, absolutely not. So, Your Honor, could I ask my son's mother because she's right here? Just ask her. I said, oh, will you accept service so I can see my son? Her attorney cut her off and says, no, I'm not going to let her answer that question because I haven't had a chance to confer with her what the ramifications that is. So no, she's not going to answer that question. I said, Your Honor, can you give me an order for them to accept service until they accept? Mr. Jennings, I can't do that. You're going to have to get a private investigator, an attorney, and find out where she lives and serve her the paternity documents have another hearing later because this case is right now closed. We just had this as a courtesy. When I would like to help you, but nothing I can do until you find a way to serve her.
Mm.
And then the judge ended the Zoom call. I was like, what? But to think about this song when I was growing up. You remember the Schoolhouse Rock? I'm not sure how old you are, but there's a cartoon that's going every Saturday, the Schoolhouse Rock. A little piece of paper said, only a bill. I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill, and he shows how the bill becomes law. And the little boy is walking this bill and says, well, to pass the bill, you got to go to the House. You got to go to the Senate. You got to get a vote. You got to get this, you gotta pass it on. And I just kept remembering that in my head. And I was like, I just felt like this like derangement because I was so angry. My first thought I thought about, the Joker on Batman, the movie, how he just looked like deranged, like he's gonna do something crazy. I had
Mhm.
that feeling and I slammed my computer down and I was like, and I can't be the deadbeat dad. I hear, dads don't see their kids for years. And there's this football player that something came across the Instagram or Facebook one time where he's like, I see my son. He's crying because his son's like 15, 16 now. He's mad at him. Where were you when I was going to high school? And where were you when I was trying to go to my prom? You wanted to help me. You were deadbeat. I'm like, that's not going to be me. Open my computer up, start doing some research and researching the law. Like I researched how to get that hearing. So, man, you know what? I'm going to change the law. I know
Mm.
what to do. I just need to find a state representative that will sponsor a bill in the legislature of Florida.
Mm.
So I wrote a proposal, did my research, and submitted to a couple of legislators. I kept getting no's, no's. Or you can only get six per legislature. And I finally found one for Benjamin. He happened to be a graduate of Florida Moore also. And he was just the first year elected state representative. Bernard, let me check it out. Send it to me, and I'm going to send it up to the legislative committee at the House if they accept it.
Mm.
A week later, he calls me at 7:30 in the morning. Hey Bernard, I set the bill up and they said it's legally sufficient. They're gonna pursue making it a law. So they're taking a proposal. They're gonna write a bill from it. Okay, what do you need me to do? So well, just stand tight because I need to find a rep on the Senate side to sponsor it, and I got to get the Speaker of the House of Representatives that he'll accept it. But another week went by and he called me again. This is December of 2020, 2022. Hey, good news. The speaker says if we get it to go through the committees on the House side and it passes the committee on the Senate side, he'll let it come to the floor, all the whole House and the Senate to vote. Get it through, and we let it come through. December 2022. By this time, they're having different hearings on the House side, hearings on the Senate side. It kept passing the hearings. I'm watching it online and dealing with it, making phone calls to different representatives, asking them to please sponsor the bill. When the bill comes to co-sponsor, vote on it. While me and my fiance at the time we got married, this is going into March of 2023 now, and I'm watching it. And one last hearing that you'll see if you go to the Good That Act GoFundMe, is a hearing that we videotaped where it went through the process and the senator, Senate Republican senator in the House on the Senate side, the Democratic senator on the House side. The bill passed unanimously again. And they
Mm.
brought it to the House floor in May, and they argued it. The Christian Association argued for it. The Lawyers Association argued for it. The Bar Association passed unanimous, no opposition, both House and the Senate. Every
Wow.
single senator voted yes. Every single House member voted yes. And the governor signed it into law 3 weeks before July 1.
Wow.
House Bill 775, parental responsibility after the determination of paternity. And it was coined by the gentleman from the Senate side. This is a good dad act. Ethan's good dad act is named after my son.
Mm.
And it says that when a father steps up, he's on the birth certificate. Him and the mother, they got along at some point. He signed a acknowledgement of parenting at the hospital, and he should have the same rights and responsibilities as the mother has if they're married, although they're not. Entitled to decisions on education, health and welfare, in social upbringing, anything going on that he should have a right to know about. And
Mm.
he should collaborate. The mother should collaborate. The judge should have a hearing when he signs and sends a petition to court that he wants that time. He should be seen walking in with the same presumption that she has as equal. A
Mm.
few months later, another bill passed 1301 called timeshare that says, hey, because of 775, Ethan's Good Dad Act, the father walks into court equal. What does that mean? Well, it means that he's entitled to 50-50 timeshare with that child. As long as he lives within 50 miles of the child, and he's entitled to 50-50 timeshare, and the mother now has a rebuttable presumption. So in the past, it never mentioned the dad. Now it says you are equal, and the mom has to prove in court that you're bad. Where before, you have to go to court and beg, I want to tell my son, blah, 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 blah. And the burden was on you to prove you're good and to convince the mother so the judge could have an agreement with the mother to let you have time with the child. Everybody who got time with the child before this is because the mother was willing them to have child. If they didn't want them to have time, they get 1 hour visitation, they got some vacation, false allegations, and counseling and all kind of stuff. Unless you could prove the mom was so bad that the judge kind of relinquished time to you. But now you walk into court equal to her. As long as you live in 50 miles, she has to prove that you're bad, that you're guilty of child molestation with a court order against that child, or guilty of domestic violence against the child. Other than that, in the state of Florida, boom, you're good. So that's how the bill became law. He does good that act. And then after that, I determined myself, I'm not going to stop with just me because there's so many dads out there that I know having this problem. I've heard other dads having this issue while researching what I'm doing. I'm going to change the law in all 50 states because I'm not going to let this happen to nobody else. Because how are you going to tell me this is my child and I can't see my child? I can't have a say so in his life or her life.
Mm.
Went on to do some press releases of what was going on. And some dads started calling me. I started doing a podcast, maybe the second or third week after the bill passed, probably the second, like right away. Use the Google Meet. I have a relationship with Google through the president and CEO of the Biscayne Gardens Chamber of Commerce. So I have a relationship with Google Meet called Go with Google. Give jobs for anybody, but now I focus on getting jobs for dads and training so they can skill themselves so they can qualify for work from home jobs. Because if you're taking care of kids 50-50, you can't really go out and work 9 to 5 anymore. You got to do something at home. So there's thousands of jobs right now for dads to get working from home or
Mm.
moms. But our website is biscaynchamber.com. You go to the job search tab and you'll see jobs in there. Right? So then other dads started coming to me from places like Alabama, Arizona, Iowa, Indiana, New Jersey, New York, 25 to 30 dads per Tuesday night. And I appointed them as team leaders in their state. I have a meeting Tuesday. It's at 8 every Tuesday. Last night was our 100th meeting. We never missed a Tuesday, 2 Christmases and New Year's Eve. We still met and talked because these dads going through it, especially Christmas and New Year's Eve. A lot of them don't have 50-50 with their kids. After the law passed in Florida, I represented myself in court pro se, meaning without an attorney. In December of the year 2022, the judge awarded me 50-50 custody of my son.
Mm.
So after the law passed, so I didn't brag about the law. I passed law in the court, but during my final closing arguments, I said, there's a new law in the state of Florida called Ethan's Good Dad Act that says that if I step up, I'm entitled to 50-50. And she didn't make the burden of proof that I'm not entitled to it. So I'm going to rest my case and I'm going to ask you to uphold the law. That's what happened.
Mm. Man,
Uh,
I
yeah,
love.
since that time now, I get dads in 16 other states. I passed along the law is similar, but not exactly in every state. But pretty much, if you read the legislation, it's the same. So I take the proposal that I did in Florida, I add a dad's name from, say, um, North Carolina or New Jersey to the proposal and submit it to their state representative or their state senate in their state on their behalf, saying that I'm vouching for them. This is what the problem is. This is the solution. It's now passed in Missouri, New Jersey, and it passed in Alabama, and it just passed in Tennessee and North Carolina. It goes into effect July 1. The Good Dad Act in 6 states. In Alabama, they actually call it the Good Dad Act. And if you Google Good Dad Act and put the state after it, it'll pop up and tell you if that state has a Good Dad Act in it. Some
Wow.
legislation in Kentucky, they're actually doing it without me sending anything to them on their own. It's kind of be like a fever now. Now, when one state does something in abundance, the other states sort of chime in to be up on what's going on.
Mm. Literally changing the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Giving dads a chance and kids. You know, it's the problem when they take the dad away from the kid, it's not only the dad suffering, the kid is suffering. He's not getting the whole legacy of that dad. And then if you're a man, you got a mother and a father, that's the grandfather, grandmother. They want to see their grand too. What
yep.
about my sister and brother? Their nieces and nephews, their aunties and uncles. They don't get to see him because the mom being bitter to the dad. And then if you got other brothers and sisters or cousins, they don't get to see that child missing out on a whole generation of family history. You know, they need to know who their family members are.
Yes.
So this is for them too, because A lot of states don't have grandparent rights. A grandparent does not have the legal um, ability to file anything in court. They're barred from filing anything for the child because they're not the legal guardian. They can only witness what's going on. Also, the recording or not. They don't have
Mm.
any rights. No grandparent. Some states may have grandparent rights, but the majority of states don't have grandparents' rights.
Mm. How old
Definitely not.
is
Oh,
he now?
my son now is 10 years old. Since I
Mm.
got full cut the 50-50 cuts, I get him every Friday to Friday. Each Friday I pick him up. I keep him all week until the following Friday. I end my days at 12:30, pick him to school in the morning, do what I gotta do. 12:30 I stop. 1 o'clock I leave to go pick him up from school by 1:50. Pick him up. I don't put him in aftercare or anything like that. I take him with me. If I gotta go to work, he come with me. If I'm dealing with a client, he come with me. I take him home, get a snack, wash his hands, take a shower, whatever, help him with his homework. He'll tell you, hey, I wasn't good in math before, but now that my dad has me 1 week on, 1 week off, I'm better in math. I'm more confident in math. The principal called me the second month in and said, Mr. Jennings, your son is doing really better in school. Is it okay if we put him in a gifted program? I said, absolutely. We get the mom to say, okay, we put him in a gifted program. Mom said, okay, put him in a gifted program. Now he's doing the morning announcements.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
In the morning, he got to leave his class and go. And what's wild is when I was in high school, I was doing the morning announcements.
Yeah.
At North Miami Senior High School, the pioneers. And in elementary school, he doing the morning announcements because he get
Wow.
on the mic and talk and say what's going on with the weather. And they give him a little script. He's excited about school like that.
Man,
Good. So
it's amazing, how people overlook the impact of father involvement. There's many stats out there that tells
yeah.
you, how important it is. I work on my regular job, I work for a fatherhood program, um,
Mm-hmm.
a home visiting program designed for dads. So
Mm-hmm.
I set up visits with dads and I go to their homes and we work through the 24/7 dad curriculum. And we have these conversations and I'm just constantly um letting dads know just how important they are to their child's development, period. One saying that I always go against is, that mothers are natural nurturers. And I do agree with that. But I
Yeah.
also say that fathers are also, we are natural nurturers. And when I say nurture, nurture is to teach and to guide, and to help that child to develop. We naturally do that, and I think people overlook that when it comes to fatherhood, and we don't think that we help our children develop socially, um, physically,
Yeah.
emotionally. We help with all of that, and we teach and we guide them in all of those ways. So I think it's so important for dads to be there. And just hearing your story, that's even more confirmation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right what you're saying. 25% um of father absent homes in the United States. If 25% of fathers in the United States are absent fathers,
Mm.
and 65% of black children live in a home without a father. 65%. And amazing because statistically, a child who has a father in the house, 2 times more likely to go to college,
Mm.
80% less likely to go to jail, 75% less likely to have a child out of wedlock.
Mm.
81% of people incarcerated, black or white, or whatever, in prison, you ask them if they had a father at home, and they say no, he
Gee.
wasn't there.
Mm.
So fathers are important because fathers are significantly, you know, alter how you think. Very simple. A mother was playing with a child, a boy or girl. They're gonna be playing nicely with them, playing whatever. But the father gonna rough house, give a little freedom, throw him up in the sky, spin him around. What does that do for the child? If he's not abusive with it and he's careful about it, that child gonna develop confidence in themselves and the fact that I can do something.
Mm.
And as you know, as an adult, if you don't feel like you can do something, you a lame duck. You got to have confidence. Whether you confident or not, you better fake it. Because if you're not sure of who you are and what you about to do, who's gonna follow you?
Mm.
If you don't have confidence about your business idea, you want to present it to get a mortgage loan or a business loan, and you walk in there like you don't know what you're talking, and if and and button and not sure of yourself, you can get approved.
Mm.
No, because if you don't believe in you, who else should believe in you?
Oh,
I believe now. I grew up with my mother when I was 11, and I moved with my father. But I believe that that fathers give that to their children. Mothers do too now. Mothers, there's some single kids out there that got the mother, but you have some kids with the single family mother. I know in particular where the boy, two boys, one became a drug dealer, gangbanger, the other one a doctor.
mm.
So, but in general, based upon statistics,
Yep.
father need to be there.
Yes, sir.
The woman need to say, I don't need a man. You do if you have a child, because if you don't have a father that's active in the child, then you're stuck taking care of the child 100% of the time.
Mm,
So when you want to go do something with your friend girls, you got to deal with the babysitter neglecting the child, putting them off with your grandparents or whatever, or somebody else. You want to get another job or you want to increase your self education. If the father's not there to taper off, whether he's with you or not, that's a help to you. Why are you trying to push him away? You're statistically hurting your child if
mm,
you do that. And and when my son's with me for my week, I don't pitch him off to somebody else. It's like something I got to do that he can't come with me. I bring him to business meetings. I bring him to uh, I do a lot of volunteer, a lot of philanthropy. I bring them with me. They say, "Oh, you can't bring your kid." I'm sorry, well, maybe I can't go. I'm not going because I'm not leaving my kid down. I'm not going to just go pick them off and another relative. My both my parents have passed, so I can't say my grandma going to watch them. They're not there. But
mm.
even when they were there, my for my children, I never I never just pitched my kid off on someone. My responsibility is my kid.
Mm.
You know.
Yes, sir. How have you explained your advocacy work to your son, or has that been a conversation that you guys have had yet?
Well, he's been there. He's been there through this. So I try to shield him from the stuff that goes on in court, so he don't know too much about it. But
Mm.
come on now, 7 years old, 7 year old know what the hell going on. ten
Yes.
year old, they know what's going on. They know, and you can if you try to play them then that's going to be to your detriment
Mm-hmm.
because they have an understanding. They
Mm-hmm.
can pick up an iPhone or Android and do more stuff with it than you know. They get on the computer and they, whoa, I remember when I was little, my dad said, "Can you program the remote control?" Now I'm like giving it to my 10 year old. Do me a favor, program the remote control. 10 year old. Remember when
Yeah.
I was little? When I was little, my father could say, "Hey, what's this number right here? Read that." Now I'm like to my son, "What's this number right here? Read that." It's to repeat itself. Kids are smart, okay? So don't put it past them. So, but I try to shield him from the argument with me and his mom, and I try to be honest with him. He asked me a question, be honest. I said, "Listen, you know the difference between wrong or right. You saw what just happened. I'm not going to tell you to be against your mom, but understand what's wrong and then what's not, and that's right. When it comes to the good bad act stuff, all what I was doing with the law, and then he see me talking to people about it. We go someplace, people approach me about it, and they say, "Oh, do you know your son changed the law?" So he knows. I wrote the book. He sees the name in the book. He has access to the book. He even did a video saying, "This is a good bad," because I make him when I give the book out, I let him sign his name at the top, and
Mm,
I sign my name. So the book to people that want the book and say, "Oh, we want your signature." So he knows he's able to articulate that. You know, one time he said in a video, "Me and my dad changed the law." Well, actually, my dad changed the law. But ever since my dad has 50-50 with me, my grades have improved. Look, he said it on his own. I recorded him. I said, "What do you want to say about the book?" I didn't tell him what to say. He knew what to say.
mm,
So he has an understanding. I don't think he has a full cognition about all the ramifications. He tells me he loves his mom and he loves me equally. I say, great. You're supposed to love your mom
mm-hmm.
because she's the one who birthed you. I'm your father. You love me too. No problem. So I think as he grows older, he'll have more appreciation. In the book, the passage I wrote to him in the book, that I think when he gets older, 17, 18, even his 30s, 40s, 50, he's going to read that back and be, damn, all
Sheesh.
this, my dad did all this for me, He
Wow.
believes that now. He tell me that we came from something called the 5,000 role models of men. I don't know if you heard about it. A congresswoman named Frederica Wilson out of Florida, all over the country now, where she has mentors to little boys in school, and she create different male mentors for them, and they wear red and black tie. And every Wednesday, he has to wear a red and black pattern to join the mentors program. I'm a part of it. And we were at an event for that when they brought me up to the stage to recognize me for what I've done and brought him up too. We leaving out there, he was like, Dad, I'm so proud of you. Oh man, that hit me.
mm,
Bringing tears. I was like, for him to be 8 years old, Dad, I'm so proud of you for what you're doing.
mm.
That's what you want. You want your kids to be better than you, you know what I mean? To achieve. So all this is for him, really.
And for him to see it all, like you said, he's been through this with you, I think the impact of him witnessing these
Mhm.
things, it's a model for him. You are a model that he can look at. There's a lot of young men and young women that don't have that role model as a parent. And so for him to even see, all of these things that you guys have been through, outside of what you do in the home, which is impactful in itself, but to see what you are outside of the home is like, I think that's something like you said, when he gets older, he'll be able to look back on that. And when he really fully understands it,
Understands.
like, what? My dad did what?
And
Okay.
it's hard because just like any dad that's a hardworking dad that's really doing what he's supposed to do for his family, you're not there all the time for your family to be
Hmm.
working. You got to do this. You got a meeting. Sometimes you want to talk to me. I'll be damn. He wait till I get the phone in my face. He won't say nothing to me. As soon as I talk to somebody, and bro, what is this? Don't you see what this is a phone? You can't just interrupt me. You got to say excuse me and then wait. I'm scolding him. Don't do that. And for him as a kid, like everybody else, we like instant iced tea right now. You want what you want when you want it instantly. You don't want to wait for it to brew. You don't want to wait for the sugar to come. You want to put the powder in there and it needs to be sweeter and you want to mix it up. You need it to be cold and you want to drink it.
Mm,
Kids are the same way. If you got kids, they want what they want. They're gonna ask you 1,000,005 times that you give in. He knows that if you, Dad, I want the Roblox. Can you give me this? It's only $20 on the internet. Can you give me 20? No, Ethan. 2 minutes later, hey, if you give me this, I just want. No, Ethan. I'll come back 15, 20 times.
mm,
What? Here, get it. You know what I'm saying? He leave out and spend $20 on the internet. That's that's $40 for the week and a rate on the internet for what? Somebody can't even see on Roblox or Gorilla Tag.
mm.
They know kids manipulate too. But we try to compensate. I know I'm busy trying to make a living and doing what I can. Because even with my dad, I remember growing up, I wanted him to come to my baseball game. He's, oh, I can't come, I'm busy. I want to come to my band performance. He'll come in and walk in late. There, I
Mm.
see him coming in, playing my trumpet, happy he was there. So I remember that song when I was growing up, Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon. You remember that song?
Oh,
Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, Dad. When you're coming home, Dad. I'm not sure when, but we'll get together then. Google it. Right? It's an older song. It's talking about this dad who busy working didn't make time for his son. And his
mm,
son keep asking him, and the years go by. Now the son is a different age. Asked him again, okay, son, but I got to do this. Next thing, next generation of age. Son, I got to go to college, but I don't have time, son. And then it shifts. When now the dad is older, the son is old. Well, this song is singing, saying, well, son, when you going to come do this? Because I'm older now. I say, okay, dad, I'm busy doing this. I'm working. Oh, sorry, Dad, but I got my own family now. I don't have time. I got to do this. Oh, sorry, Dad, but I got my own son. I got to go do this. And then now the father's older, about to die or whatever, and his son is became his father. Too busy to focus on him because generation shift. It's
mm.
called Cats in the Cradle. It's a song, Cats in the Cradle and Silver Spoons. Right. I always think about that song because no matter how busy you are, you got to stop.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm doing all this. I know that I'm on here at 8 o'clock at night on Tuesdays, and my son's trying to get my attention, and I'm on here for an hour on a podcast that maybe lasts for an hour and a half, and I have to take my guys. I'm gonna end this podcast right now. We've been here for an hour and a half, sometimes going to two, but my son is here, and this is my week with him, and I got to end this because I need to spend time with him before it's already 8:30. He's supposed to be in bed. He got school tomorrow, but he keep coming in here. He want my time, so you guys can stay on. I'm ending my time. I'll see you, and I go
Mm,
tuck him in and read a book, fall asleep in his bed, waiting for get up and leave and go to I go to my bed.
Yes,
But
sir.
it's a balance because he wants me to do stuff with him, and I can't do everything he wants me to do as a dad. But I'm doing as much as I can do because I still got to do this. Be a dad to all these other dads, being a
Mm,
friend to these other dads, and a dad to these other kids that don't have their dad. You
mm.
know,
Yes, sir. So it's 2025 right now. By 2030, where do you see, what impact do you see the Good Dad Act making? Like, where do you see homes, parent relationships? What type of impact do you see the Good Dad Act making by in the next 5 years?
okay, so in 1 year we've gone 6 states,
Mm,
right? So I'm thinking this time next year that we should have maybe half the U.S., 25 states,
mm,
if not more, with the Good Dad Act. And my thought in all this is like you'll hear about deadbeat dad, deadbeat dad. You don't hear good dad. I want the Good Dad Act, Ethan's Good Dad Act, even without the Ethan, just good dad to be a household thing. Just like deadbeat dad is a household.
mm,
I want everybody to think of a dad as a good thing, not a deadbeat. And a dad's more participatory. Dad's more open. Like dads don't take their kids to work. Dads don't take their kids to meeting because there's a stigma that it's not macho or you're not manly or that's a woman's thing. When I was little, I remember my mom used to take me to, she was a real estate broker, take me to work. When my dad was living with my dad was a contractor, he'd take me to work, take me
mm,
with him. So dads, and I see a lot more of it now too. I see a lot more dads with their kids in the store, in the park, you
mm,
know. And maybe because I'm with my son, I noticed that because if you see that car that you like the most,
mhm,
little Mustang red with rims, get
mm,
one. All of a sudden, everybody got one. Damn,
mm,
everybody got this car. It may be a different color. They got the car. It's not because they didn't already have it, but because you focused on it now, you see it.
mm,
So if you get involved with your child and doing things with your child, you're gonna notice more dads doing something with their daughters or their child. I got two daughters too, and they're older, and
mm,
they're doing good. My oldest daughter, she's a manager in Google, the coding program called Coding. She runs that program for Google around the country. I got another daughter, she's graduating FAMU
wow.
um, as a bachelor's, so she's actually a real estate agent, got a license, got an online shoe store. Can I give her a shameless plug? Um, it's uh, it's called Drips, the number four, Miami with two eyes. Drips for Miami. Still look at a pair of shoes on somebody walking my table, what the make and model of the shoe is, how much it's worth, and
Yeah.
she buys shoes online at auctions and buys somebody old shoes, clean them up, and sell them again for double the price. I'm like, making money. Since she was 13, I thought I'd negotiate. Yeah, Drips for sale Miami. So yeah, so I think in like year 3030, a good dad could be a household name. People know more about it. Dads will have more rights. The narrative in courts, because the courts are still biased against dads in court. Because this is a prevalent law everywhere in the state where the mother's national regard doesn't mention the father. Not like the law said the father's bad. It just never mentioned the father. And I blame men because the women weren't making laws and weren't voting until 1967, 68. They
Mm,
just got their rights back. They just got the rights to vote, in the 60s. Men were making these laws. So we made these laws in a way to be the easy way out. Oh, that's her responsibility. Let her deal with it. She can stay home and take care of the kid. I can go do this, whether he's being a philanthropist or he's just handling his business. Either case, he neglected to protect himself with the laws that were created.
mm,
So now there's a shift to create laws to protect men and men's rights to their children.
mm,
Movement going on. And then that leads to child support, where men don't have their children, but they're made to pay this absorbent amount of child support for the lifestyle of the mother with the child. Child support is for the child, not for the mother. So she's a custodial of the mother to use the money for the child. And I guess some people feel that the mother abused it. Some men want to know the accounting with what she do with the money. To me, I don't care what she does with the money because she got to have money. Whatever money she got from her job or whatever from child support is not enough because it ain't enough. Nothing is enough for anybody. So when I pay the child support, I don't look back, well, what do you do with the money? Because I know it's not enough. But at the same time, it shouldn't be taken from a dad to the point where he got him destitute. Dads that are paying so much money in child support. I know there's one dad, he's the mother, father, child support in one county, and then father get a different county. 2 years he's getting money taken out of his check in two separate counties, and he can't get nobody to figure out how to help him. Like, how's that okay? Dude got no money to do nothing. He can't even pay his own rent. He can't do nothing. It's a burden on him, and that's not helpful to the child because how he gonna spend time with his kid? He got to work double double,
Mm.
and the mom's still treating him nasty over it. Yeah, and then paternity. I filed legislation this past year, legislation to address false allegations of domestic violence and paternity fraud. Yeah, a lot of attorneys will tell the mom, "Oh, you're in family court. The week before the hearing, go file domestic charges against the dad, and then when you go to court, the judge not going to hear anything that has to do with visitation because they can't because he got a case going on in domestic violence DV court, which is criminal. Family court is family. The two judges not going to talk, so the judge is going to wait until something happens in that case to decide what to do. However, they're going to impugn the child support. And now that you have zero time, you got to pay 100% child support to the other side. And then before the next hearing, which would be 2 months out, a week before that, they go file another. That case will get dismissed for no merit. She's okay. Then he
Mm.
goes back to this family court. A week before, she'll go file domestic violence again with a different allegation. She gets, and there's no evidence needed in DV court. It's based upon how the person feels, not about the facts. I feel scared because the last time I talked to him, he was yelling at me at the phone. I'm scared he's gonna hurt me. So he's yelling, screaming at me, and we arguing. I'm scared for him to come around me because he's gonna hurt me and my baby. Boom. Okay, you got a 15-day stay away. On the 16th day, you got to come to court.
Mm.
You can get dismissed, and that can happen 18 times in a row. And all the while, this family court case delayed, delayed, delayed. So he said, forget it. I don't want to see this kid. I don't care. When the kid's 18, he comes see me. A lot of dads would say that. They don't
Mm.
go back and fight for the rights because it's wrong. So I filed legislation. It didn't pass this year, but I'm hoping it passed next year that says that the mother does that first first time fully on her, second time for me, third time it can be considered a misdemeanor because you should prove that why you if you fear your life, this person will hurt you. Why are you still coming around them for them to have another incident for you to have to do a report? Why you keep going around it, trying
Mm.
to coax him, whatever? So third time it should be like community service, and then you'd abuse and deal with it. Because a lot of dads don't deserve what's dealt to them. It's not
Mm.
right. Pass a hat around to dads. The story's the same with a different dad under the hat, right or wrong. Because you've been doing this for a while.
Yep, I've
Judge,
heard same stories.
judge see it, judge see it, attorneys see it. They know what's going on. So why did nobody do nothing about it? Why did it take for me in the year 2023 to change the law that says a father that steps up, he's on the birth certificate, has the same rights and responsibility to the mother? In that case, 50 years ago, they had a baby and he got the same rights to have a decision what the kid is doing for education, for religion, where they live. You can't just move out of the state with someone's child and not say, I'm leaving tomorrow, I'll be back on Thursday and don't ever come back again. And he like, well, where you at? California. Call back the next week, the phone disconnected. Where your baby at? Last time I heard, they was in California. I don't know where they at. You gonna go look for them? California's the biggest state. Where am I gonna look at? They
Mm.
went to Georgia. We got dad's mom moved to Georgia on them. They fighting in Georgia, living in Florida. How's that okay? New York to Florida, New York to New Jersey, New York to California, because she decided she wanted a co-parent who was gonna leave with the kid.
Mm.
That's not okay. So hopefully the law now changes that. They can't do that under the Good Dad Act. And if we
Mm.
can get that everywhere, I think dads, a man will be more settled, less angry. A lot of men we talked about before, a lot of men walking around here with PTSD. We're not talking about a failed relationship with our ex and why we can't see our kid, but we run around with a little anger and you cut me off in traffic and now I'm pissed off because you cut me off instead of taking that with stride or
Mm.
boss at the job say something to me the one way instead of me dealing with it maturely. I top off because I'm just pissed because I haven't seen my kid in 3 weeks and baby mama got me in court. I have my check going anyway. So damn everybody, I'm blowing this job up. You know what I'm saying? Some dads snap off and go kill the mom and kill the children too. Mothers do it too. You see in the news, they go slap crazy. Mental health is an issue. Mental health is an issue for men and women.
Mm. Sheesh. No, that's real. That's real. How how can people help to forward this work, help out with the cause?
We have a website. It's www.gooddadact.com. That website is built for the law itself. There's different parts of the website. There's a tab there for father-friendly resources. If you know a dad is going through this, send up to the website. There's resources for them to get help. Private investigators on there that can help them find their kid if they can't find their kid. We got attorneys that have come to be guests on our podcast, like I'm a guest on yours, and we've talked to them, they've vetted them and say, okay, they're going to treat this dad fairly. They're going to treat not just against. Some people hate themselves. Some
Mm,
men hate men. Some women hate women. Some women or attorneys hate men, and this their way to get back at all men. You know, it's just life. So you need to you go get a you think someone working for you, like I say, some folk ain't kin, some folk kinfolk they ain't. I go,
mm.
all folk ain't kinfolk.
All skin folk ain't
Folk
kin.
ain't kinfolk. Same thing in the legal practice. You go see an attorney, you think they trying to get your money. They're not trying to stop your case from moving forward. They trying to keep you like going to the doctor's office. The medical system is not about curing you. Since I was in elementary school, they've been collecting money for cancer in every elementary school in the country every year, every junior high school, every high school. Now tell me how COVID came and they said on March 15th, COVID will be over. And on March 16th, COVID was over 2022. They ain't
Mm,
cured cancer yet. They don't
sheesh.
want to cure cancer. That's a money pit. They get oncologists getting money, the Cancer Society getting money, and they ain't got no cure. Come on now. They
Mm,
don't want to cure it.
mm, mm,
So these things are industries. The medical industry is the educational industry, is the family court industry, $34 billion industry. You're not going to kill it. You got family court industry collecting more money, distributing more money for child support than 6 countries, 6 nations combined. And so you got these guys saying, "Oh, we're going to sue the courts and we're going to eliminate family court." They ain't never happening. Too many people get paid off of that. 34 billion, not million, $1 billion. People depending on it. Guardian items, lawyers, judges, courts, clerks, people who sell paper to the courts and the clerks, the counselors. And when you go to court, they send you to mediation. They send you to the counselor. They send you to reunification. These are $34 here. You got to buy the app. You put your stuff in the app. You go to court. Your Honor, would you like to see the print up in the app? No, I don't need to see it. And why you made me get the app? Nobody want to read it. Guardian Litem, would you like to read it? No, I'm not reading all that. A counselor, would you like to see it? No, I don't want to read the app. Well, why you put me in the app? The app is a deterrent for the parents to like be civil because somebody may read the app. Nobody reading that app. Nobody reading what's in there. But the company making $112 from every of those 100,000 fathers that are in court. You know, so I'm just saying it's a cycle that you fall into. It's like when you hear, don't get involved with the criminal justice system because it's a revolving door. Once you get in trouble, you can continue to get in trouble. You heard that, right? Somebody
mm.
get arrested for some petty theft or something like that. For some reason, they end up getting in trouble again and trouble again. It's become habitual.
Yup.
You got some dads in family court for 10 years trying to figure out how to see their kid. I got him in my program. 10 years, 9 years. One guy's daughter's 10 years old. He's been working on it for 9 years trying to get time with his daughter. And he get, we can hear, but it's not normal, not like, what he wants.
Mm.
So I say all that to say that, it's the industry and some attorneys just looking you for your money. I represent myself as an attorney helped me in the beginning. He said, "Bro, what you're doing, you can do this on your own. It's going to cost you too much money." So I did it on my own.
Man, that's good, man. I do have a lot of guys that ask me questions about this stuff, so I would definitely be sending them your way, man,
Yeah.
because a lot of times I hear stories and I'm like, sheesh, this is a lot.
Overwhelming. Yeah. I get texts, I get emails on my website. Dads, not just the black dads, white dads, Spanish dads, Asian dads, Chinese, all the same, no matter what who you are. So on the website, we got a job portal on there. If the person needs some more education, some through Google, there's some class they can take, get on their resume, they take it online, put a resume and get a job. And then I have the other website, ethansgooddadact.com. This is the website for the book. You can get
Hmm.
the book on Target.com, Walmart.com, Amazon.com, or anywhere, Barnes and Nobles. And getting the book helps. The book is sold, and then the proceeds of the book, we take that so we can travel to states like Maryland. There's a father named, it's called the Hurt Story on Facebook, Jerron Hurt, where he has his two little twin boys, got a million something followers on the internet, and him and the mom broke up, and he heard to the kids, he was taking care of the kids like I'm took care of mine. and the kids complained that the mom not feeding them properly. The police came to the house because the boyfriend beat her up or whatever. He got the police report and saw that was true, filed an action in court to legalize his visitation. The guardian line turned on him and said, "Oh no, you went off the internet, you exploited the children," and told the judge that he should only have a kid 1 week, 1 hour a week supervised visitation to further notice of the court. He did that for a month or two over the summer, and then the judge was being biased, the lady was being biased, and the judge got recused. Another judge came, suspended the visitation, said, "Okay, I'll rule in a month." That was last July. Since July till now, he still haven't seen his kids. I don't know how he handled that.
Man.
He got twin little boys, cute little boys, and he dressed them nice. And you can see he got videos where he's doing stuff with the kids, teaching them stuff, and just because twins are funny. Everybody want to look at twins. Do they dress like? How do they act? So he had a following, and because he's making money on it to take care of his kids, that's a problem. Like, well, Disney Channel got kids on it, Nickelodeon got kids on it. What's the problem? But there's one lady decide his fate, and so there's a petition going on now to for the governor to investigate what's going on. Because how is it he can't see his kids? Been 10 months, he can't see his kids.
Mm.
His kids need him.
Sheesh.
So the book helps because I use the proceeds from the book to go visit. I went to visit him over there, and then we get the websites that we keep going, and then I'm submitting documents to other states and going to other states. I visited Georgia to talk to state representative in Georgia. I visited Alabama, talked to state representative there. His name is Patrick Sellers. That bill actually passed in Alabama now. It's actually called the Did That Act in Alabama. You can Google it.
Mm.
So I'm going to keep going because if I don't do it, if not me, who?
Mm. Yes, sir.
Like you've been consistent doing this for 5 years. That's what makes it win. You got to be consistent. You know what? When you're in a relationship with a woman, you know what she really wants from you?
Mm.
Consistency.
Yes,
That
sir.
you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, and you're gonna do it when you say you're gonna do it, and she can rely on you, and she can trust you, she can give you her trust, and she'll follow you because you're a leader. If you
Mm.
can't be consistent, you can't lead nobody. You can't be an employer without consistency. Because if you don't feel like you get that check consistently like you're supposed to get it, and the raise gonna come, supposed, then your employee gonna leave.
Mm.
That's
Yep.
part of manhood, being consistent and doing what you say, being a man of your word, because your word is your bond. And if you didn't do something, something must have happened because he always do. When you come up missing, people know you're missing because you do what you say you're gonna do. That's
Mm.
how we need to be as men for
Mm.
our families.
Sheesh. That's good. That's good stuff there, man. So yeah, man, listen, I definitely will be sending people your way. I'll definitely be paying attention myself. Man, keep doing what you're doing. We need this.
Appreciate you.
It's not something that I've went through personally, but I know a lot of guys
Yeah.
have went through this. Even one of my brothers has went through the same thing. And the work that you're doing is, I can't put a value on the importance of it. So keep doing what you're doing. I'm in your corner. If you ever need to come on the platform and talk with people, or if there's anything that I could do to spread the word, I'm here for you, man. Send me the info. I'll put it out, on my
Yeah.
Facebook, on my
We're,
IG.
we're on Facebook, we're Instagram, goodthatAct.com, Facebook.com/goodthatAct, Instagram /goodthatAct. Share it. It's on YouTube. There's different stuff on YouTube. Share the video,
Yeah.
check in, whatever you can do to send somebody to us. Because, we have this meeting every Tuesday. It's not just to meet. There's at least 25, 30 dads. This past Tuesday, yesterday, we had 23,000 people watching us around the country talk about dads talk to each other. And then you can see the dad that's new, the dad had been there for a while, give him some advice, just to give him some nuggets to get him motivated, make him feel like, hey, I'm not alone in this thing.
Mm.
And then they taking notes and then they going through the situation. I read something from my dad just yesterday, which I can read it here too. One of the dads wrote me a message, of how he felt about what happened. He'd been working for his, trying to get his kid for a long time, and then finally the bill passed. And he wrote this. He goes, "This is 6:20 yesterday. You don't know me, but the bill you helped pass changed my life. I can finally see and talk to my son again. You have taken me out of a depression, knowing that I can actually have real rights to my son now because of this new law means the world to me. Thank you isn't good enough. I'm forever grateful for you and the work you put in to make sure fathers like me can be able to be around their sons or daughters, and the mom can't hide or use the kids as pawns. You changed that men in Florida, and we owe you big time. You help the next generation, and they will know it's because of you. Come on, man. That's
Gee,
like that's a lot.
that's why you do it right there.
Yeah, that's a lot. I know he didn't have to tell he didn't have to do that. He just did that because he wanted to let me know. And I got other messages from other dads that's hurting it. That if I could read them to you, like these dads like, man, I haven't seen my kid in X time, blah blah blah.
Mm,
It hurt me. They want to see their kids. And I'm not hearing from the kids that the kids could talk. They'd be saying it too.
mm. You better believe it.
The
You
kids would be
better.
saying it too. I want to see my dad. When I have little videos and stuff of dads doing stuff on the internet and how the kids be so excited for their dads, I post it. So dads can see, look, you're not alone. Other kids looking for their dads.
Mm,
I appreciate you letting me on here. I appreciate coming to your listeners, your audience. If you want to be a part of the Good Dad Act Committee, we accept it. We need dads in Wyoming. We don't have a dad in Kentucky. We don't have a dad in had a dad in California, but he's not showing up at Washington State, New Mexico, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Dakota, South Dakota, North Dakota, every
mm,
state,
mm,
Texas. There's some states that don't have dads. We need them. Dads need to step up. Virginia, West Virginia. I haven't heard of a dad in West Virginia. I'm not sure they know about it. But
mm,
I can't just write a letter to the dad in West Virginia and say to a state representative or state senator of West Virginia here, pass this law. They have problems in their state to be
mm,
contacting about this on top of their list that they have to solve. So me coming from out of state saying, here, you need to pass this law. Nobody in my state complaining about it. So I'm not doing that. Now some may do it on their own because they have a personal information or someone told them about it, so they're gonna put it through. But really it takes somebody in that state to connect. So I can say, let me put the law in your name, submit it for you, and contact the state legislature and have my other dads. I got a whole network of dads. When 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 the state legislature gets my request, I give that number to all the dads in my group. Say, hey, take the moment out to call this number and tell the state representative you want to sponsor the Good Dad Act and answer a couple of his questions if he asks you questions. I get 25, 30 dads making that call to that one state rep. He like, once he get 10 calls, he got a million calls in his head. And he gonna do something. He got constituency asking him to do something, lobbying. We gotta step up and be self-sufficient as dads for ourselves in the problem. Nothing gets solved for us. We gotta do it.
yes, sir. Yeah, man. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Definitely let you. I know. Let you get back to what you got going on. I'm sure you probably like me, got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff being a father and trying to keep everything together. But man, I have your number. I have your information. We would definitely be in contact, man, for sure.
Have me again.
Yes, sir, man. So, to my listeners out there, y'all go and find my guy. All y'all got to do is go to Google, man. Type in Good Dad Act, Ethan's Good Dad Act. Get in contact with my guy. Find him on Facebook, on Instagram, go to YouTube. Uh, just reach out to him if you have these issues and don't be shy about it. You never know where a dad might be listening to. If you're in one of those states where it's not active, reach out. Please, please, please reach out because it's not just about you. It's about other dads that might be in the same situations as you. So, you do it for yourself, but you also will help so many other dads in the process. Um, Dr. Jennings, man, I appreciate you. Like I said, you got my information, man. Reach out anytime, bro. Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. So this episode 143 of Dad Can We Talk? And we're out of here.